But like I said, it should come as common knowledge, if you will, that anytime Undertaker's matches are scheduled to like almost opening, well not opening, well I think he has opened before, hasn't he? Or a second match, a third match, or even right in the middle, then he's not going to lose. It's common knowledge. Because if you have him lose at WrestleMania in the middle of the card, or if you have him lose at the opening, or the second or third match, the rest of the card, the rest of the WrestleMania card is going to become irrelevant. Because people are going to be talking, because you're going to have an entire WWE Universe in that venue, watching at home. You're going to have that entire WWE Universe going like, what just happened? You know, it's going to be like, what just happened? What did we just see? You know. And WWE's not going to want that to happen unless, of course, it's the last match of the night. Now, Undertaker has main evented Mania not once but twice. WrestleMania 24 against Edge, where you would think it probably could have happened, but it didn't. And WrestleMania 26 against Shawn Michaels, because Shawn Michaels' career was going to come to an end. But besides that, besides those two being his only main event ones, a majority of the time, any other time, oh yeah, and WrestleMania 11, I should say, WrestleMania 13 as well, so anyway, with those three exceptions of Mania, and if there's any other ones, let me know, but with those three exceptions of him main eventing WrestleMania, any other time his match at Mania is taking place, it's taking place in a position to where you know he's not going to lose. So anyway, getting into the match, I thought it was good. One of the best matches of the night. By far. Probably the best match of the night, by far. I mean, CM Punk, give the guy a lot of credit. I mean, this is why I'm a CM Punk fan. The guy can carry a match. Even if someone like The Undertaker is not in the best shape in his career. And he was in good shape last night. Let's not deny that. He was in decent shape last night. But despite that, you know, depending on whether someone's injured or is not 100%, like say, not feeling well, but still wants to compete, you got to give CM Punk credit for carrying the match, even if he himself is injured. But overall, I thought it was a decent, not decent, but one of the best matches of the night, if not the best match. I mean, it just went back and forth, especially towards the end, because here you thought, okay, CM Punk's going to finally do it. He's hit the guy with everything. He's hit him with GTS. He's hit him with the urn. He's done everything. Heck, he even nearly injured his own body, injured his own leg or something, trying to drive his elbow into the Undertaker on the Spanish announce table, which did not give. So overall, just a great back and forth match. And again, give credit to CM Punk for helping to carry some of that match, and to Undertaker for proving that he could still go in that ring, no matter how old he is. And you know, here's the thing: I know there's a lot of people. I know there's a lot of people that, if you're a CM Punk fan, a CM Punk mark, and have been for the longest time, I know a lot of you are not too happy with the fact that he did not end the streak. I can understand that, and I respect that, because you pretty much feel he should have been the one. But here's the thing. That all changed with the passing of Paul Bearer. You see, if Paul Bearer hadn't passed away unexpectedly like he did, and God rest his soul, then I'm pretty sure they would have done it. I'm positive they would have made CM Punk be the one. But it did not happen. Instead, because of that unexpected passing, they said, you know what, out of respect for what Paul Bearer meant to The Undertaker, we're going to give, and I'm pretty sure they talked to CM Punk about this. They said, look, we were going to give it to you, Taker wanted to give it to you, but because of what's happened, out of respect for what Paul Bearer has meant to Taker, we want to give it to him. And I'm pretty sure that's what happened, or something like that. So again, had Paul Bearer not unexpectedly passed away, and again, God rest his soul, then I'm pretty sure the outcome would have been different. But because of what happened, you know, it did. Because of what happened, instead, we ended up with 21-0. So, overall, great matchup. You know, really enjoyed it. My nephew, who was here, my 17-year-old nephew, was really getting into it because he wasn't sure. He wanted CM Punk to win, and because he's a CM Punk fan, but unfortunately it was not meant to be. And again, like I told him, as I'm telling you, I think if Paul Bearer hadn't passed away, it probably would have been different. Well, then after that, we ended up, after that match, and you can enter that match, you saw Taker just stand in the ring. You almost could tell there were tears in his eyes a little bit because of the fact that he knew he did this for Paul Bearer. He did this out of the tribute to the guy that helped guide his career. And like I said, it probably would have gone the other way if the unexpected passing did not happen. So, great match, probably the best match of the night. Now the question is, anytime something like that happens, can somebody follow up on it? And surprisingly, Triple H and Brock Lesnar did just that. They followed up with another good match of the night, with the second best match of the night. And this, of course, was a match that I ended up watching most of, but got interrupted towards at the end because my brother-in-law, my second oldest sister's husband, my brother-in-law, came and got his kids, came and got my 9-year-old nephew that he dropped off at his house. So I kind of got a little distracted, if you will. But overall, this was pretty good. I mean, both men really beat the hell out of each other throughout this match. You saw Brock bleed a little bit with like a little scrape on the head. But it was, to me, I thought it was good. I thought it was a great match, very physical. I mean, Brock did dominate most of that match. I mean, let's not deny it. Triple H did come in and kind of even it out towards the end. But really back and forth, just back and forth. And the fact that Brock used the bottom steel steps to ram him into Triple H. Well, I don't think you've ever seen somebody do that. But it was overall. And then the way he picked Triple H up from what looked like a suplex and just threw him over onto the Spanish announce table, which finally did give, was a surprise in on itself. But a great match back and forth. Shawn Michaels, give him credit for taking the F5 the way he did, but then bouncing back and able to hit the super kick on Paul Heyman, thus allowing Triple H in the end to get the win with the sledgehammer and the pedigree on the steel steps. But what was unique about this is you had Brock Lesnar locking in the Kimura lock several times, especially sitting on top of the top turnbuckle and trying to bend backwards a little bit and locking it in. But then what surprised me was Triple H. Later on, he ends up locking in the Kimura lock on Brock Lesnar. And both men basically did the same thing. Triple H was able to lift Lesnar out from the corner and spine bust him, if you will. And Lesnar was able to lift Triple H a couple times, landing on him, not once but twice on the steel steps. The third time, Triple H just said, yo, fuck it, bam, hit a DDT. So, overall, great storytelling in that match, and Triple H does go over. Now the question is, where does Lesnar, Heyman, and Punk, after these two matches in a row, where do they go from here? We're going to find out tonight. And if tonight on Raw is the beginning of a Punk Lesnar build-up, be ready for that. But overall, great storytelling in the match. I don't think anybody can deny that. And then we get to our main event, which is, of course, the WWE Championship match between The Rock and John Cena. Now, I know a lot of people have had a mixed reaction to this, felt it wasn't one of the good matches. It was kind of a sandbag match. I thought it was decent. I mean, give the guys credit. I mean, yeah, they're not Rock doesn't compete on a daily basis. John Cena's not one of the best competitors in the ring. He is good. He's a decent wrestler when he can be. When he needs to be. But, they're not, look, the fact is they may have not had the best match, that night. But it was decent. It has to be considered maybe number 3 as far as matches go last night. Would you agree with that or not? But it was great. I mean, both men went back and forth, tried to hit each other's finishes, his signature moves. I mean, it was okay. And just like everybody pretty much figured was going to happen, John Cena did hit the AA, I think, for like the 3rd or 4th time. And that 3rd or 4th time was the charm. And he ends up becoming the WWE Champion for the 11th time. Now, what's funny about this, one of my favorite moments of the match was John Cena looked like he was going to do what he did last year, where he lost the match, doing the mockery of the people's elbow. But instead, as he goes over the Rock and then goes over him again, Rock gets back up, but John Cena's like just leans back. It's like, I love that. That was kind of cool. And then he tries to hit the AA, which got turned into a Rock Bottom, but that didn't work. And overall, I thought it was okay. I'll look at it this way. I thought it was better than last year. Well, on par with last year, I'll say that. It was on par with last year. So it was good, whether people liked it or not. I know you had the crowd booing last night when they embraced and showed respect towards each other and everything. And how John Cena, he saluted The Rock and everything, so when John Cena did this, what else do you expect? I mean, I know the OTRS, and some people said they looked like they were ripping off Hogan and Warrior. You know what? Maybe, in a sense, they were. But here's the thing. You guys have to realize, how many times do people have to tell you this? What you want sometimes isn't always what you're going to get. You got to deal with what you got, or with what you're given. And come on, honestly. If you thought Cena was going to turn heel, especially with the fact that they want to be more family friendly, and especially with the fact that next year, leading in, as part of WrestleMania 30, they got a Scooby-Doo animated film called Legends of WrestleMania with John Cena in there. You think they're really going to do that? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So, overall, I thought it was okay. Mania, for me, overall, I thought was a decent show. I thought it was one of the better Manias. Not on par with last year. I will say that, not on par, but was one of the better Manias out there. I'd probably say it'd go into the top 10, if anything. I just don't know what position. But I thought it was okay. So, overall, decent show. One of the better ones of this current decade. And that's really all I'm going to say about it. I know a lot of you wanted certain things to happen, but they didn't. You just got to deal with it. I hate to say it, you have to deal with what you're given. Predictable or not, you got to deal with what you're given. You got to remember, this is not Ring of Honor. This is not CZW. This is WWE. This is not the Independents. This is WWE. Things are different here than they are in those areas or in those places. So, overall, decent show. One of the better ones of this current decade. And that's all I'm going to say. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. So this was in 2 parts. I got a 15-minute time limit. And I'll talk to you all later.